Finally, it took me a while to get everything set up today. It usually is much faster. But finally, I am live. I hope that you will find your way here to the live. And perhaps I even should, or I'm guessing that you will find it. Let's see. Because I just uploaded this thumbnail, and I was a bit late, so I might just, sorry for the delay here, but I might just make a community post or say something so that people find their way to the live before I start to talk, because this topic will be so very important. Let's see. We will do it like this. Just give me a few seconds while I just make a short post. Let's see. Finally, we are live. And okay, so a few of you have found your way here. The topic today is a really important topic, and it's a topic that few people actually understand. Coercive control. You probably heard the term, and I think it is beginning to, the information is, sorry, mosquito. The information is beginning to spread, and perhaps you've heard about this fact that, sorry, there is a mosquito distracting me. I had a balcony door opened a while ago, and apparently today is a big mosquito day. It has, yeah. So where was I? Coercive control. Yeah, it's getting legalized. Perhaps you've heard about this. Some UK and even UK has legalized it. Australia, I'm not sure if they have, but at least they are doing a lot of studies and research in Australia about coercive control. And some states in the US are legalizing it, or putting it like, it may not stand on its own as a charge, but it can be put into other sentences, if I understand it correctly. And people are talking about it a bit more. Control. So we will talk about what it is and why it is important to understand, why it is dangerous, and why it is so hard to spot. So I'm hoping to cover all of that. And I think a few years ago, or a decade ago, people did not understand narcissism. Now there is a lot of people who have come to understand the term, and who are finding it to be like a light bulb moment when they learn about narcissism. And coercive control is like that. Like, you hear the term coercive control. Oh, I don't know what it is. It's like a term that, but when you once you understand it, it is like something clicks and a lot of pieces fall into place. So I'm hoping that this live today will be eye-opening. If you've never heard about coercive control, I hope that you will learn something. But even if you have heard about it, perhaps you will understand it from perhaps you will have still some insights, and I'm hoping a deeper understanding. And if you're an expert on coercive control, I can still hopefully you might still be able to learn something, because I will share a bit from my own experiences living with a coercive controller and being coercively controlled. So I might start with talking about 2 books. And before I do, I will just mention, so there was a time when I, at one point, I think around New Year's last year, I tried to apply to this Amazon affiliate program. And I thought, oh, perhaps that's a good idea too, because I'm always talking about books. So perhaps I can mention it and they can, if I use the link, then they can give me some money to the channel. But I was fired, or I wasn't good at selling things. So you have to make, anyway, I'm not getting any money right now from anyone. but I'm just will mention these books, or rather these stories, and I think that you will recognize at least one of them. The first one is a book by Tonya Bales. Perhaps you have not heard Tonya's name, but you have heard the name of her ex-husband, John Meehan. Dirty John was what he was named in the press. So Tonya Bales was his first wife, and they were married for 10 years. They met when they were in their early 20s. And now we have the answer, like the key sheet or the answer to what kind of person was John Meehan, because he was a dangerous person. He got famous or infamous in the press after he tried to harm and kidnap a young lady. He was a dangerous person. He was also a coercive controller. And we will get to what that is in a bit. But what is interesting or scary is that he was not physically abusive during his marriage with Tonya Bales. He did become threatening during and after the separation, but he was not physically abusive. And from what I understand from his marriage to Deborah, can't remember her last name, but the last one of his wives, and the woman who is more well known, from what I know about her story, he was not physically abusive with her. I can't say 100% sure that he wasn't with her, but he was not physically abusive during his 10-year-long marriage with Tonya. But in the end of that, or after the separation, she was afraid of him because of his threats. Deborah Newell, yes. Yes, thank you, Deborah Newell. So he was a dangerous man, and he was a coercive controller. And there is a connection here, because, and it's therein lies the fact that coercive control is being spoken about, and coercive control is getting illegalized because of this connection to danger. So a person who has not been physically violent can still become dangerous and even exert lethal violence after a separation if they are a coercive controller. And not all coercive controllers will harm or injure or kill their partners, but some of them will. And we will come to that, but there is a connection between. So what I want to say is, this is actually a good book, but this was an example of a man who was coercively controlling. he was also, of course, manipulative and psychologically abusive and financially abusive and so on, but not, at least not in this marriage, physically abusive. And this was the one that I read like detailed about. It was a good book because she was, so Tonya Bales is actually, I admire her a lot. She's a woman of faith, so she's a Christian Catholic, and John Meehan tricked her, like he pretended to also be very like a believer, but yeah, he cheated on her and used her financially and manipulated her and so on. But after the separation, she did fight him, or fight for herself and for her girls. So part of the book is her sharing her insights on the character of John Meehan, and part of the book is her fighting for custody over the children and the legal battles with this highly controlling and manipulative man. And the second book, and this is so this book is in Swedish. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist in English. Some of my viewers are from Sweden, so you will recognize this story. But the story is, I think, very interesting, even if you can't read the book. It's like the title in, so if I would translate the title to English, it will be Never Forget Tintin. And Tintin is the son of the author of this book, Sanam Garaye. She's a Swedish children's psychiatrist, and she was married to a man who was a coercive controller, and he was not physically abusive with her, but so after the separation, he also started these legal fights, so trying to control her and harass her through the legal system. And eventually he killed their 8-year-old son, Tintin. And he's in jail now, but she shares this story about the relationship and about his control and how he used this legal system. And she has been fighting here in Sweden for the family courts and for the legal system to recognize that a person can be like, so it used to be that even if the partner has been physically violent or threatening, and even if the children are scared of one of their parents, they are still forced, at least under a certain age, to have visitation and with that parent. But partly, so what she has been fighting for is that if a child is scared of their parent, they should not have to see that parent. Like that should be taken into account. And I think that like she was very important to make a law change that came into effect here in Sweden in January 2025. I don't know how, like it's a law that says that the safety of the children should have priority in these cases, but I'm not sure how it is put into practice. So there is always this difference in like now we have a law about this, and then it has to be implemented in practice. And I think that coercive control is also like this. People are talking about it. People are trying to raise awareness of it and how dangerous it is. And even in some areas or regions or countries, it is being put into laws. But then implementing it practically and getting the like lawyers, the prosecutors, the judges, the family, like getting people to understand the seriousness and then having it put into practice. That's like it's not always that one follows the other. It's a process. So I just wanted to, like, before we get into what coercive control is, I just want to have it like as a background. Neither of these men were physically abusive, but they were coercive controllers and they were highly dangerous. Okay, so what is coercive control? Coercive control, and I will now I will show you another book. This is a book by Jane Mockton Smith. She's a former police officer. She is a professor in criminology, and she has written and done research about coercive control. And she wrote this book in Control, which I've read, and it is really good. But in her definition, coercive control is like an umbrella term. It can involve many, many different behaviors, but the aim of coercive control is to, it's this mosquito. It's joining the live, but you're not welcome. Bloodsucker. Okay, coercive control is this. The aim of coercive control is to trap a partner in the relationship. It's to make the partner unable to leave and to rob them of their independence. But the goal to trap them in the relationship. And it's as I said, it's an umbrella term. So coercive controllers can use different tactics to trap the partner. Financial control is a common one. Like making the partner not have full access to the finances, or not have the possibility to do a lot of financial decisions. Like they're trying to remove the financial independence from the partner. And this can also, like, financial abuse can be done in different ways. It can be that, well, we are joining our accounts, but then the partner is not allowed to do whatever they want with the money, or the coercive controller is like having insight into what a partner is using money for. They're not able to save anything. Perhaps trying to prevent the partner from working, trying to, or the opposite can also happen, that the controller is refusing to work, and then the partner is forced to use their money to pay for everything, or they try to take a loan. So a woman I know, her ex-husband would take, he would buy things on her, like in her name or on her credit cards, and then he would sell them for a cheaper price after a while. So she said that I came out of that relationship like up to here in debt, but I had no assets, like nothing to sell, because he had sold it. So putting the partner into debt, or as my ex-husband did, tricked me into signing this huge loan. It was for what equals to $260,000 for an apartment that he then had. Yes, sorry. No, I just have to take a second to wash my hands. Okay, sorry for the interruption, but I killed the bugger. Okay, so there is this financial part of coercive control, isolating the partner, trying to, in different ways, to cut them off from having people that could support them, emotional abuse or put downs, trying to break the confidence of the partner, trying to make them believe that you will not be able to manage on your own. No one would want you. And this is a common one I've heard, and I heard it as well. Nobody wants to marry a woman with children, or nobody wants to be with a woman with children. And like, if someone if a man gets into a relationship with a woman who has children, it's just because he wants to use her for something. Like getting this, trying to get this message into my mind that you don't have any other chances. Let's see, what else? Yeah, of course, fear, putting like in different ways, making the partner think that if you leave, I will make your life hell. I will take the children. You'll like, I will do this, or I will report you, or I will harm you, or I will end my own life, like guilt, all of these like different means to make the partner feel or make the partner be stuck in the relationship and not able to leave. So all of it is coercive control. And then we come down to the more like the things that you might commonly think about. Controlling what the partner wears, controlling how you do things, like this is how we should do this. We should keep everything very neat or clean, and like you have to follow the partner's rules. And then even like the coercive control can cover all aspects of your life. And this is what happened to me in the end. It wasn't only like finances, isolation, mental manipulation. It was also like deciding what we could use money for, deciding what clothes I should wear, or refusing to like give me any money to buy any new clothes, and even commenting on how I spoke or what words I used, or he having different ideas on how we should talk to children, or what we should do with the children, and trying to make me, or trying to enforce that, and trying to control me into doing that. And in the end, it was also like trying to controlling how I exercised. That was a whole thing. I might go into that later. Like how I was able to do this, but like when I exercised, and what the routines were. And in the end, it was also, just as you say, touchdown Jesus. Food choices, yeah. Like, what did you eat today? You shouldn't eat anything before this hour. It's not healthy for you. And so even what I ate, he started to control that. And yeah, we will get into later, like how how I was able to do that. But it's like the world shrinks, and you have all of these like routines or things that are trained into you. And yes, I mean trained. It happens over years or a long time. And it serves, as I said, one of the reasons is to trap the partner, and make them lose independence, both in their actual like choices, in the resources that they have access to, and I mean both financial or human resources. Can you say that? Like friends, family. That's also sort of a resource, or and I don't mean that people are resources, but in a crisis situation, it is something that you can use, or something that you can use to get out of the relationship. Or even like even if they're not able to practically help you, they can give you some emotional support. And so yeah, the practical, like the real choices, but also the mental, trapping you mentally. So that's one of the reasons, or one the major aim of coercive control is to trap. But there is also another aim, and this is something that Jane Mockton Smith writes about in her book as well. And this is like if you have a partner who is under your control, running on, like doing everything according to the routine and according to the rules that you have set into place, then it is very easy to keep taps on the level of control that you have, and very easily see any sign of resistance. And I will explain what I mean. A coercive controller is afraid to lose control, sort of like any, because this is the way of oppressing a person. Just like in a dictature, the leader or the regime is oppressing people, controlling them. A person who is oppressing another human is afraid to lose control and to lose that power over them and to lose that domination. But they're also very vigilant on signs that of resistance, so resisting their control. And of course you can, and this is something that people are like, people who are getting abused, they often say that, well, the abuser doesn't listen to me. He never listens. He does not listen to me. But that's not really true, because he listens very attentively. He just does not, he's not listening to improve your experience of the relationship, and it might seem like he's not listening, but he is listening, because he's listening to keep his hand on the pulse of you, to see signs of resistance, to see what your thinking is like. And he's listening to you when you're saying like, oh, this is what I want, like this is what I would need in the relationship. He's listening to that, but not to do not to cooperate. He's using it. He will use it to, like, he's listening to be able to use it. And a proof of this is if you suddenly have enough of the relationship and wants to leave, he suddenly gets it, and he suddenly changes all the things that you don't like without you having to explain it. He knows what he knows what you are not happy with, and or what you would want him to do. So and proof of that is that he's able to do that without you, if he ever needs to get you back under control. Let's see. Okay, so back to why this micromanaging. If you micromanage the partner, you can very easily see if your control is slipping. If you have told them exactly what they should wear, what they should eat, when they should exercise, what times they should do that, like you have a routine for them, and everything should, like the dishes should be in order, they should be put in the cabinets, and like do this and this, and put my food into the refrigerator with some salad on the side, then you can just walk into the door, like you come home. You don't even have to be at home. You can install a camera. Yeah, and exactly, electronics or tracking where the partner goes, tracking like having an app on the phone, tracking where they are. Are they like checking in? Are they where they should be? Are they doing what they should? You can come home unexpectedly and see that, oh, everything is in order. They're doing what they're doing what they should. Like I have control. And if they're not doing what they should, then you see that like, no, things are not in order. I need to get them back under control. So those are the two major purposes of coercive control. And I might explain a bit, as I said, during my relationship, and it lasted for 21 years. There were some controlling tendencies, but it covered like a sort of a few areas in the beginning. There were like, oh, I don't want you to have male friends. I don't want you to have boys as friends. Like that was the one that was early on, but mostly I didn't feel controlled, and like for many years I could meet my friends, and I could do a lot, like my own things and hobbies, and like it felt sort of normal. When the control started, it was like it ramped up a lot after we so after the children, like after I got, actually, like the control increased a little bit, like slowly after I got pregnant with the first child, like in small ways. But in the beginning, it was mostly suggestions. And it was like, you might look, if someone tells you constantly, oh, you should do this, or you can't do that, then you will feel control. But that's not what he did. He said things like, oh, I know you have so much to do, like you're so busy, like now you have like, or we have a child and you have so much to do, and like I have a suggestion. When you come in through the door, I know that you're like, you have to fix the child and fix the diapers, and then you have to like fix food, and or you might have to clean something. And I just have a suggestion, like to make it easier for you. You can, like when you come home, you can switch into some comfy clothes, because then you will feel more comfortable, and then you can like get to the things afterwards. So I thought, like, yeah, I might do that. I mean, actually, so I didn't feel like that was necessary. But that was something like he started to remind me, like when he would come home, oh, you haven't changed yet, but go and change and I will take care, like have a look at our son. You go and change and you will be more comfortable. And then like gradually it started to, oh, why didn't you change? Like you should change when you come home. So it turns from a nice suggestion into like, and like over months, it's like he have been very persistent. And of course this is like this is planned out, and why I know that it happened with so many things like in the same, and I did not see it actually after, like I have seen it after I left and looking back. Oh, that's like, if I remember back, that's how he put the rules into place, because how did I move from having like making my own decisions sort of and feeling to this micromanaging everything and controlling what I eat and wear and speak. But it was mostly like in the beginning and up until the last year, like when something new came, like a new rule, it happened like in the last 2 years together. It was this rule about the exercising in the morning. And before, so in the end, I would have this schedule. I woke up before everyone. I woke up and got myself like brushing my hair and teeth and drinking some water, and then I would wake the kids up, and then we would have to do exercise like 10 minutes, or we had this routine, and I would have to do it with the kids and without him before we got like the breakfast and got off to work and school. And so that was the end result. But it started like this with the exercise routine. Perhaps like rewinding a year earlier. I, by myself, liked then to do some yoga in the morning. So I would watch this lady on YouTube and like follow along. And I felt that this is like, it was something that I liked to do before the family woke up, and it was a bit time for myself. Then my husband suggested that, well, you know what, I've been thinking about, like before the kids go to school and so on, we should do some exercise together as a family. It's healthy, like to get your body started and to stretch out their backs. They will be sitting a lot. And so I really want to start this routine. And I thought, okay, like he's very passive, so I don't know, he wants to start it. And he said like, oh, let's like together we will do this in the morning. And I thought, okay, if you want to do that, I will follow along. So it started with him waking up together with us. And he was like, okay, so everyone drink a little bit of water and we will do something together. And I thought that, well, it's something good, like if we do something, like if he gets involved with the kids, and like it's not a bad thing. And I thought, if he does this and I just don't have to think a lot, because I was always mentally tired, I will just like follow along and I will do that instead of the yoga. So he would like get us in a little circle, and then he would have this, like he had thought out, like we will do, it was first like the jumping jacks, and then you would do like these ones, and then everyone would squat a bit, and like we did this, it was fun, like the kids thought it was fun in the beginning. Then we would run in the circle, and it would be like a little game, and then like everyone would go off to school, or we would eat some breakfast, and they got like took the kids to school. And it, like in the beginning, it felt fun, or it felt like a positive thing. Then several weeks went by, and we did this every morning. Like he would do this exercise thing, and I thought, well, I will just follow along. I don't have to think that much. Then he said one day that, oh, tomorrow, I'm really tired, so tomorrow I have to sleep in. But could you do this exercise with the kids in the morning tomorrow? And I thought, well, okay, I'll do that. It's just like, so I did it with the kids. And then like those days when he had to sleep in, they became like more often. So it would be like once a week, or he said like, oh, Saturdays I really want to sleep in, so Saturdays you can do it. And like then it gradually, very, very slowly became more often, until he like never woke up, and he started to tell me like, oh, you have like you have to do it, it's for their good. And you can't break the routine. And then it turned into this interrogating, like, oh, how many minutes did you do? And it was very, very slow, like over months. And it sort of happened with everything like that. It began with these suggestions, or like a nice suggestion, and then it turned into control. And of course, in my relationship, it was a lot of confusion, like it was a lot of ups and downs, and conflicts, and mood swings, and like it's not very afterwards it might be easier to analyze. Oh, this is like looking at one behavior or one routine, and I can go back and trace that. But in the reality of living with it, it is chaotic and confusing, and like hard to understand what happened. Like, how did I get here? It wasn't. I did not know how I got to that point when I was in it. Okay, so we have talked about coercive control, how it is controlling different areas of the partner's life, with the purpose of trapping the partner. But it is also this, and especially like in the relationships with higher levels of coercive control, it is also this micromanaging, and it serves two purposes. One is to trap the partner, and the other is to easily keep tabs on them if they were to move away from the control of the controller, to easily crush under resistance. So that is sort of the same aim, to trap them and to keep tabs on how much control you have, so to prevent resistance. And yeah, it's the same goal, to trap the partner. And let's see, I was thinking about one more thing before we move on. Yes, I was summarizing. We talked about coercive control, how it is to trap the partner, and breaking down their independence. Okay, now we might, and I do look at your comments, and I will go through them. I will talk for a bit, and then we'll go through comments, and you can write if you have any questions or want to share something. And I'm so happy. I'm seeing I'm seeing a lot of new people in the comments. I've seen your comments on other videos, but it's always fun when new people join in on the lives. Okay, so let's now talk about why is coercive control dangerous. And I will talk again about Jane Monckton Smith, this woman who have been doing a lot of doing research. It shows she's from the UK. She's a former police officer, and she started to do research. And what she did was that she looked into cases of people who have been murdered by their partner or a former partner. And she tried to understand what the patterns were. And she could see that in the majority of these cases, if not so I want to say all of the cases, but I don't know if I remember correctly, but in the majority of the cases, she could see this control. And she could in fact map out, she was able to, from studying a lot of cases, she was able to do like a stage map of coercive control. Like, how can it move from, okay, so she realized that coercive control is dangerous. Coercive control was present in the majority of the cases of these murders, or there were a few attempted murders as well, but there was coercive control there. And then she was able to map out, and like her research led to this mapping out of a timeline of coercive control. How do these relationships move to, like, from courting, from meeting the partner to the end stage, like murder? What happens, and what are the risk factors, and so on. And she was able to map out these 8 stages of coercive control. It is helpful to people working with victims, for example, or working with people who are leaving abusers, and to understand if there is signs of escalation to possible danger. And it can also be helpful to understand actually the dynamics that are going on in the relationship with a coercive controller. As I said, the coercive controller are on the watch out, or they're hypervigilant when it comes to looking for signs of their control slipping over the target. And what do they do if their control is slipping? If the target is trying to regain independence, if this person is doing things that would challenge the control, or perhaps the coercive controller is like trying to control the target, and they say, but no, I don't want to do it my way. Well, what usually happens is that they will try to escalate the abuse and the pressure. They will escalate the pressure on the target so that they will submit. And what happens during these relationships is all like, of course, there is this gradual increase of control and so on, but there is also these like periods of increasing abuse and chaos and conflict until the partner submits, and then like things are calm for a while with this increased control, and then there is this increase in abuse. Okay, so keep that in mind, and then we will talk about these 8 stages of coercive control, because it's a helpful way to look at these relationships, and it's a model, but Jane Mockton-Smith studied hundreds of these relationships, the ones that ended in lethal violence, and they followed, all of them follow this timeline or these 8 stages. Oh, it's important to mention that most of controlling relationships don't end in lethal violence, but some of them do, and you cannot really know from the beginning which relationship will end in like the worst case scenario. But if you know this timeline, then you can like watch for the signs of the behavior of the perpetrator or the abuser escalating over the, like if they are escalating up the stages, then the risk of lethal violence increases. Okay, so stage sorry, I'm looking, having an eye on the comment and comment section, but we will go through it then later. Stage 1 of this timeline is actually, it only has to do with the coercive controller, because stage 1 is a controlling person looking for a partner. So they're looking for the next target. And this, like all of it, like the coercive control, the escalation up the stages, it only has to do with the coercive controller, because that is the person that is driving this dynamic. So the control and the like the abuse, it is coming from this person, the coercive controller. And what she also found out was that like the risk factors for like the coercive controller is the one that has the risk factors for it to be a controlling relationship that ends in violence. It is not the person that he gets into a relationship with that has any risk factors. And the coercive controller is a serial perpetrator. If a person is coercively controlling in one relationship, they will be coercively controlling in the next relationship. And if one target is able to escape, he will move on to the next target. Or sometimes the coercive controller is not able to let go, or he's not, like he chooses to not move on to the next target. He continues to, like even if the partner no longer wants to be the partner, they want to escape, they want out, they want to leave, the coercive controller might not accept that. And that's when they continue to stalk the partner. So stalking is the continuation of coercive control in the relationship. So they continue the coercive control, even though it's no longer a relationship. They continue to stalk the partner and continue to try to regain control of the partner when they are stalking. They try to keep tabs, like where is this person. They try to send them messages trying to affect how they're feeling or what they're doing. And yeah, and sometimes they will choose to harm the partner or end the partner's life. And we'll come to that later down the stages. But stage 1 is the coercive controller, a person. And so in the cases that Jane Mockton-Smith studied, because she looked at mostly at cases that had like it ended in lethal violence, or it ended in attempt to murder the partner. Most of the people that she studied were female victims and male perpetrators. But there were also a few female perpetrators, females who ended the partner's life. Oh, YouTube. I don't like to do this, not use the proper word, but like they don't push the videos a lot if you use these controversial normal words. And so they don't like to show it. I don't know why, but okay. So the people that she studied in her research, the perpetrators were male, because most of the lethal partner violence is like 99 point something. The man is the killer and the female is the victim. There are cases of the opposite, but it's not at all as common. Okay. Back to the person with the stage 1, the person who is the coercive controller. How do you know that you are meeting such a person if you're dating someone or interacting with someone? Well, there are a few clues that you can look for. That they have like if you know that they have a history of control, a person who is convicted of stalking, or a person that you know, like they have a history of being jealous. And you might hear it from when they are speaking, or you might have heard it from acquaintances or something, like or you might see it in the records, like that they have some sort of conviction for like stalking, domestic violence, or they are saying things like I'm a jealous person, or or so on. That they are using possessive language, that they're saying things like early on, like now you're mine. Like even if it's said like in a cute way, or that's can be a warning sign. Or that they are like seem bitter, or talking a lot of bad things about former partners. Like if the person has, for example, he cannot see his children unsupervised. That's something to be very, very careful about. And I mean, it's not that it never happens that this is like ungrounded, but it's much, much, much more common that the person who has to have supervised visits have a serious problem. So watch out for that. And then if they are doing this boundary pushing, or if they are like taking charge if they are making a lot of decisions for the two of you without asking. So they make a reservation for you without asking if you, or they are like, oh, let me buy you a second drink. I'll be right back, without asking you, like, can I do that? Or like deciding things, as I said, for you being, and it can be seen as romantic, but especially if you're not aware, like, oh, it's good to have a partner who take initiatives, but they should ask you. And if you're not sure, like, is it, if you feel that it may be that they're too pushy, then say no and see how they react if they start to insist. Like if they make a reservation, I made a reservation for us on Saturday. I will pick you up. And you say, no, I can't on Saturday. And then they start to insist, like, but what are you doing? Like, instead of respecting your no, then they start to try to convince you. And as I said, they can do this nicely. These people are nice and charming, and you may not feel controlled, but these are all warning signs to be aware of. Okay, so stage 2 is the relationship. And as soon as, what the coercive controller is doing in the beginning is, and I have to mention this, there will be things that you recognize from, like, I'm talking sometimes about narcissistic behavior, and when we're talking about the narcissistic abusive cycle, you might recognize some terms. But right now we're just focusing on coercive control. Some narcissists are coercive controller as well, so there is an overlap. And yeah, but coercive controllers will love bomb, but let's see, what Jane Mockton Smith calls it is not love bombing. She calls it the commitment whirlwind. And you can call it different things. It's just that they are very intense. They are showering you with affection, gifts. They are listening to you. They are super sweet and nice. And the goal here is to make you commit to the relationship. And the coercive controller feels that once you commit, then you're theirs. So they have this view, like they have conquered you, and now they are like, it's like you, when you commit to them, it is for life. And you are not, you cannot decide that you want to leave. They will decide if and when it ends. So now you are with this person who is a coercive controller, and you get into a relationship. You decide that, oh, now we are serious and we're boyfriend or girlfriend, or we've moved in together, or now you have committed. Now you're in the controlling relationship. So it goes quickly, but that doesn't mean that the control has to like consume you from the beginning. It can be very subtle. There are things that they don't like that you have to adapt around them slowly. And as I said, this umbrella of the coercive control is slowly being put into place. They are like slowly getting into your financial bucket. Let's do joint account. Let's sign this. Let's do the apartment together. Like, we will move in together, or you don't have to. Let's sell your house and then you will live with me, or something like that. There are so many different ways that they can increase the control over you. And as I said, like some of it can feel good, but it is this like the expectations from them on you will increase. The things that you have to adapt to around them will increase. Like the things that set them off will get more and more. And they are using different techniques to limit your movements. They're trying to trying to isolate you from people. Sometimes they will move you to like a different location or away from friends and family, get you pregnant. Okay, so that's the relationship. And as I said, like I shared a bit before, that my relationship went on for 21 years, and the control slowly increased and ramped up after the kids were born. So that's where the first two stages is this. The coercive controller is ready to get into a new relationship. Stage 2 is the relationship. Stage 3 is the coercive control is slipping. The partner is resisting, or the partner wants to distance themselves, or they want out of the relationship. And here the coercive controller has a choice: let them go and focus on another target, like move back to stage 1, or double down and increase the abuse and increase the control. So if we go back again, the coercive controller is free. The coercive controller is in a relationship with you. 3 is control slips. 4 is escalation. No, sorry. Let's see. Yeah. Let me just check if I remember them correctly. Feels like I am mixing things up. I will just... Oh, okay. This is the problem. Commitment. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. I made a mistake, but I will, it's just a small flip of the stages. Let's go back. Let's do it like that, because we're still talking about the first 5 stages. Stage 1, the coercive controller is free to get into a relationship. Stage 2 is the commitment whirlwind, or the love bomb. So the beginning stage of the relationship. And stage 3 is the relationship. And that's the controlling relationship. Stage 4 is a trigger. So control is slipping, or the target is trying to get free. And then the coercive controller might choose to let them go, or they might choose to escalate. So stage 5 is escalation. And this is like increased abuse, or like making threats, making like, if you leave me, I will end my life, or like making things difficult, or trying to get them back into the relationship. And what often happens here is it works. The target, like, they're back in status quo. The relationship continues just like it has with the coercive control, and the victim is not trying to resist. But then there will be like a little resistance, and there will be escalation, and they go back to the relationship. And this happens over and over. And like in some cases, even the target will get away and like leave, and then they will be manipulated and coerced into coming back, and I will change, and then they get back into the relationship. So many of the relationships will move like from stage 3 to like stage 3 is the relationship, trigger, escalation, and then back like several times, like and this is something that can happen for years in these relationships, that they move a bit back and forth, not constantly, but now and then there will be like a turn of the stages. But what happens then if let's say that the target is trying to break free or resisting the control, and the coercive controller is afraid of losing control, and they escalate the abuse. They say that I can't, like, or they're trying to get back in control, but the target is still resisting. They say that no, this time I'm really divorcing you. Now I'm moving into the guest room, and I'm not having this anymore. Then there is different choices for the coercive controller. They can let the victim go and oh, screw you, like I don't like you're the worst person in the world, and like I'm out of here, or I'm dating someone else now, you can live in the guest room. They can do that, but some of them will escalate further up the stages, and this is what it looks like. Sorry, I'm getting tired in that hand. Let's do it. These are the 5 stages, and the escalation didn't work. Stage 6 is a change of thinking. The coercive controller feels like their control is slipping. Their carefully built empire is crumbling, and they choose to take back control. Like, if I cannot get you back under my control, I will still be in control, because I will end your life. And if I cannot have you, then no one will have you. So that's stage 6. It's this shift in thinking. What many partners will feel here is that there is something different, like something happens in the relationship. The escalation just stops. Like, he has tried to convince you, and he has threatened to end his own life, and he has tried to cry, and he has tried to pretend that he is sick, and he has called your mother and tried to make her come well, but then it just stops. Like, something is different. His behavior just changes. He is like turning a bit inward. He seems to be in a good mood. Like, something is. Oh, I'm sorry. I have this tendency to laugh. It's not funny, but sometimes, yeah. It's not funny. It's horrible, and I'm sorry if you're dealing with this. It's very scary. Okay, so this is the shift in his. You can see a shift in his behavior, and there's a shift in thinking. And sometimes it is very discreet, this shift, but and it's easier, like it's more easily seen in hindsight. There was this one case that she actually, like, if you would, I can actually recommend reading this book by Jane Mocken-Smith. It's a short pocket. She writes about these age stages and her research, and she actually starts, like in the beginning or early on in the book, she writes about a case of a man who he had not been physically abusive. They had been married for like quite a long time and had like a few children together, and but he was controlling. And then his wife decided to divorce him, and one day she was walking from her car to the parking lot, and he just suddenly appeared and stabbed her, like with many stabs. Or yeah, he ended her life without a warning. And looking back and analyzing that case, and she talked to the family members and so on, this shift, like they could notice this shift in his thinking, because he had been, like his control had been quite not very like not over a lot of areas, but he had this one thing, for example, that he wanted the whole family to sit down together at a certain time in the couch and watch his favorite TV series. I think it was one episode every day or something. And he was like very rigorous about that. Like he wanted everyone to watch this series. But then suddenly, like during this process of she wanted to divorce him, and they still live together, suddenly he just stopped. He didn't care if everyone came to watch the TV series. And that was this, like when they analyzed it, they could see that this was when he shifted his, like that was a shift in thinking, because he knew that he wasn't going to be in control over her. So that TV series didn't matter. It wasn't about this TV series. It was about enforcing his control over her or over the family, that they would sit down in the couch at this certain time, and he just stopped caring if they watched it or not. Okay, so that's stage 6. Then stage 7 is planning stage. This is when the coercive controller starts to plan how he will commit this act. He might acquire some tools or weapons, or start to plan how he will do it. And this planning stage can be short or it can be long. It can even be for a few hours. Like there were cases where there were like a few hours, but there is a planning stage. And what she discovered, Jane Mockton-Smith, during her research, was that it is always a planning stage. No matter how short, there is a planning stage. So a lot of these people, men, most of these dangerous abusers are men. They will claim that I lost control, I couldn't, like, and there is this narrative that they will drive in court. And like, I was so emotional that I did this crime of passion. But that's not true. And she writes it like in her book that that's a myth. It's not a crime of passion. They are planning it. And it has more to do, like it is much more controlled. They have planned it out, and they have planned how to do it than what we knew before her research. Okay, and so stage 6 was the change of thinking. Stage 7 is planning how he will do this, and stage 8 is the like trying to end her life. Stage 7, if it lasts for a while, then the victim will feel this sense of increasing menace from the abuser, like a feeling of this hate and ill will, or a feeling of something horrible is about to happen, is what she writes about people describing who have been able, or who survived. And as I said, not all controlling relationships will progress up these stages. Most of them will not. In most cases, either the abuser or the target will choose to get out of the relationship, and the controller will choose another target. Okay, so I've talked I talked a long time, but I will just recap, and I will go through just a short recap, and I will think about if I missed something. Coercive control is quite a new concept, but it's getting more understood. Coercive control is about trapping the partner, and coercive control is connected to danger because there is this 8 stages of escalation of coercive control, the 8-stage timeline of coercive control. Not all coercive controllers will escalate to that stage, but some will, and you cannot really be certain who will do it. And the coercive control is about the perpetrator. There are women who do this. Fewer of them will try to kill the partner, but and one more thing. What is interesting to know is there was a study from Australia. I can't remember the name or anything, but they have done. I have read quite a few writings or publications from Australia where they have looked at coercive control and the effect on children, because we used to think that, well, it's something that is affecting the intimate partner, but they have seen that now it's actually affecting the children as well. A person who is a coercive controller, they might mainly focus on the partner, the wife or the husband, but it will also affect the children, and they will also often in different ways try to control the children. And I think I have talked about it. So I talked about the dangerous parts, and I did talk about how. So I named this, or when when you voted for this topic a week ago, I named it coercive control and how it slowly takes over your life, I think. And that's this micromanaging part. So it's sort of the aim is to trap you, but some of these coercive controllers will start to micromanage and control more and more and more aspects of your life until everything is until they are deciding everything, and you are in their net of rules and so on. Yeah, I think that was it. You have been a bit quiet. There were some comments along the way. I will just look through them, and I don't know if you have any questions. If you do, you're so welcome to write them. Let's see. Yeah. So whodunit? I saw that whodunit was had to. I think that they had to go off to work, but we'll see. They had a comment. It sounds like an army drill. Yeah, and that was when I think that comment came when I shared the story about how how my coercively controlling ex-husband in the last periods of our relationship got me to do this exercise routine with the children every morning. And it started to feel like an army drill. Let's see. And Sonia, Sonia, welcome here. Let's see, D Cornwell. Welcome to the live as well, and I'm happy that you found some value in this breakdown. It's it's difficult to explain coercive control shortly, as you perhaps understood if you listen to all of this. It's hard to explain it in one term. It's hard to understand what it means, but I think it sort of needs this big breakdown and for you to understand what it is about. But once it is sort of, and I compared it in the beginning to the concept of narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder. It's hard to understand in the beginning, but once you do it, like things that you experienced clicks into place. And it's the same with coercive control. If you have experienced it, things like things that you could not really like understand, or like things that did not make sense or felt confusing, it clicks into place. So and of course it is good to know if you're in one of these relationships, or if you're leaving a coercive controller, that leaving in itself, that's a very dangerous period. Like the majority of people who get like whose life is ended by a partner or a ex-partner, it happens in like around the period of leaving. And this is precisely why, because leaving is a trigger. It's a signal to the coercive controller that they are losing control. And that is when they can escalate. And it is important to mention that this escalation can happen very, very quickly. Like now I talked about these 8 stages of coercive control and how it escalates. But I can give you an example from my personal story. In 2017, in the spring, I told my then husband that he should leave our apartment. But like I wanted out of the relationship, and so that was a trigger. And very, very quickly, he had taken a knife from the knife block and held it against my stomach. So this was a very quick escalation up the stages, and it is not very uncommon that it happens quite quickly. Like it is the separation or the threat of separation can escalate it very quickly. And this is why, like if you're in the process of leaving a coercive controller, you want to leave, especially if there has been like if he ever has said that if you leave me, I will end my own life. That should, like according to Jane Mockton Smith, that should be interpreted as a threat on your life, because a person who sees a separation as a life or death matter, that's a risk of them escalating up the stages. And it's the same thing, like if they have ever put their hands around your neck or mouth, that's also like a risk factor. And there are we'll have to do. I have a separate video about risk factors, like I think it's called like Could He Kill You or something. It's one of my early videos, but I will have to do a new one. I think it's too much to go over all the risk factors now in this live. But so the point was that if you're leaving a coercive controller, do it so like have someone there, don't be alone with them, and give them this and try to protect yourself. Okay, let's see. And touchdown Jesus, you say that they might I'm guessing that you mean that this person, the abuser, might have you arrested and attempt to lock you in a psych ward. Yes. I've heard about stories about abusers or controlling men who will say, like, I will call the police and have you arrested. I will say this and this to the police. And try to accuse you of being mentally unwell and so on. Let's see. And DC Cornwell, you say when they call their ex crazy. Yeah, that's a warning flag. I mean, actually, I say sometimes I have used that term, but it's not something that I would say to people. Like, that's not something that I talk about with people commonly. But yeah, a person who is talking and complaining about their crazy ex. Yes, it's a warning flag, and especially if they have several crazy exes. Let's see. Marie Hard. Thank you. I'm glad that you were able to join today. Okay. Okay, you have a question, Marie. Do you think that you would ever date again? I don't know, but let's say it like this. From what I have learned a lot about abuse and red flags and coercive control, and from experiencing all of this and from gaining some distance from it, I think that I am quite good at spotting toxic people. And I think that I would be able to, if I wanted to, I think that I would be able to do it safely. With open eyes and moving slowly and looking for the red flags and doing the no test, as I call it, saying no to them and see how they react. And be aware. So I think I would be able to, but I'm not sure if I want to. Right now I'm focused on healing and and my kids and my work, like functioning as a person. I'm still healing after many years of abuse, and actually quite enjoying being on my own. So I don't know, it's something that I am not thinking about or deciding now, if that's a good answer. But I can say, because this is something that many people or survivors coming out of this relationship think about or wonder about, or they might have this desire, I would want to. So some people have this feeling that I really want to love again and I want to experience that, but I'm not sure, or I'm not sure if how would I do it? How will I find a good partner? And it's something that is good to know, is that if you have gone through abuse, we should, I think, and people who are educated on this have also said that it is good to take your time to heal and to process and understand what happened. If you don't, like, if you jump into another relationship, if you leave an abusive relationship and you have not understood really everything what happened, it is easier or a higher risk to end up in another abusive relationship. Why? Well, the ex-partner was really, really bad. Anything feels like an improvement. And then you meet someone who love bombs, and they have red flags and they like pushing boundaries, but you cannot discern it because you were used to that. So, actually the abusers also look for people who will be easy to easier to dominate or control or gain from. So someone who is like, and if you have already been sort of, if we call it pre-groomed, or you have already been like used to functioning like that in the old relationship, it will be more easy for you to slip into that in the new relationship with a person who is abusive without seeing the warning signs. And okay, so, but if you, on the other hand, take your time and process what happened and learn about abuse, then the risk of you getting into another abusive relationship is much lower. So that's a good thing to know. And I think it's encouraging to know that that you actually have a lower risk of getting into another abusive relationship compared with a person who have never experienced abuse. If you have done that processing and healing and given it some time, then that your risk will be lower than an average person's. So that now. Let's see. Wishush. Welcome. I'm happy to have you here. Let's see. I'm obsessed with narcissism videos and investigations of partners who delete their partners. Same story and different people. Yes. I hear you. I have also been obsessing about it, and it is because it almost happened to me and my kids. You're right, it is the same story and different people. I think that you would be like this book by Jane Mockton Smith would be interesting for you. I don't know if you read it, but she investigated, did research on these people and developed or was able to structure this 8-stage timeline, how coercive control moves from. I don't know how much of the live you watched, but I don't know why you're obsessed with it. Like if you experienced some dangerous abuse, or like, I don't know, some people are think that it is fascinating to watch this true crime, and but I think many people are interested in sort of understanding this. Like we want to understand danger because it is part of our existence here on Earth. Dangerous peoples, and like, why do they do what they do? Yeah. So I would just I would just suggest that you're obsessed with narcissism, and now perhaps with coercive control. It's your new obsession. You're welcome. So, okay. Do you have any more questions? Okay, let's see. You share that all my boyfriends have been covert narcissists, and I grew up around narcissism, and my nervous system remembers. Yeah, okay, it makes sense. You have experienced this in many relationships. Yeah, and of course you remember it a lifetime of narcissistic abuse. I'm sorry that you have been through this for so long. And I think that many of us, like many survivors, go through a long period of obsessing. Like when you wake up to, understand what was the problem or what has been the problem, then many of us start to try to educate ourselves. It can also be like, I think that it's good to know just that it's very natural to want to understand and to want to understand what we experienced and to understand the people that hurt us and why they might have done it. Let's see. I see that you write something else. I will just say that I think that it is healthy and good, and just as I said, that it's good to educate yourself and understand and see the red flags to yes, exactly as you say, you want to recognize the patterns. That's very good. I think that at a certain point it can become like because in these relationships we're so obsessed with the person who is abusing us, like our mind is trying to understand them and we're trying to fix the relationship, and this sometimes it is so that this obsession with their behavior, it starts in the relationship, and then this like educating ourselves sometimes, like obsessing over this person and thinking about them, it can sometimes be, I felt that myself, like sometimes it can be too much focus on them and too little focus on our own healing. I don't think that's what you're doing. I think, but just wanted to mention it. Let's see. You say that I'm a single mom. I don't want my daughters to attract that. So I want to recognize patterns. Yeah. Seems wise. Yeah. And I think I'm also a single mom, but I think that it's a good thing that you are that you have left these abusive or toxic people, so that your home is a peaceful place, and you are showing them like healthy interactions with you, and listening to them, and when I don't know how old they are, but I'm hoping to be able to learn, teach my children about red flags when they will start to date, and so on. So, yeah, it's good to understand. And I mean, if you are obsessing over it, I started a YouTube channel over it, so Okay, they're 4 and 1 year old. Okay. Oh, you have smaller children than I have. It's such sweet ages. Difficult ages as well, because it's a lot of work when they are that young. Yeah. But yeah, keep going. It's hard work to be a mother, but it's a very good thing that you are waking up to what has been going on, and you're starting to look at the patterns. So you are becoming a cycle breaker. And if this dynamics had been going on in, like you said, that you grew up around some narcissism, it has probably been around, like in many cases, you can like trace it back if you look in the family. But at least like you are taking some measures to try to not continue or let that toxicity continue in your family and with your children. Let's see, and then you say, let's see, I will just put your comment up here. So he is definitely a narcissist, and you mean your ex, I guess, but I still have cognitive dissonance. That's why I obsess over narcissistic videos, to be sure. Okay, so you still cannot, like he is, but he had some nice behavior or things that still are not adding up, and you want to be sure what you went through. Yeah. Keep obsessing, but also heal and focus on you. Let's see, Maria, yeah. When is a good time to explain to kids about the narcissistic parent? That's a difficult question, and I think that it will be individual. In some, I think I would say like this. I would not use the word narcissist first, when you explain to someone about the behavior, you don't need to label it. I would just, like, if we're not talking about the parent, if we're just talking about a person who is behaving in a hurtful way, and they are like, I would more like, if I would explain it about the parent, I would not use the term narcissist. I would explain what they did. And depending on if the children are still in contact, like it, for example, my children are not in contact with their father, and they did see part of the abuse in the end, so they know what happened. And I had to tell them the police came to our house, we were stalked, they know what happened, and I had to explain it to them. But before it, like before all of that, before the police and so on, before, when they were still having some interactions with him and so on, I explained it like this, because he was trying to manipulate me through them, and like, tell your mother that she should let me back home, and so on, and more horrible manipulations than that. But I explained to them that I don't want to live with your father. I was not doing well in our relationship. Um, I was left with too much work and too much responsibility that we should have shared as two adults. And I was the one who was cooking and cleaning and taking care of you, and I was left with too much, and I wasn't feeling good about it. And he was yelling at me and complaining a lot, and I don't want to live with him. Something like that. But you can see him, and we will live in different apartments, and of course you can talk to him whenever you want. And I don't have but I don't want to ever live with him. And I think it's better, like if you are sharing something, it's much better to just share some, like depending on their age and depending on what you think is appropriate, just something about how it affected you. You don't have to put any labels like he's mean, he's selfish, he's like, and you don't have to share something that is like perhaps children should not have to hear, like, oh, he was cheating on me, he was doing this, he was like things like that. But I mean, yeah. And let's say another thing, when there are, like in many cases, there will be some sort of custody things, or what's important to remember is that if you are, and so you're a bit like, if you are sharing a lot about the other parent who is like even if they are controlling and emotional abusive or manipulative or lying and so on, if you're saying all of that to the children, there may be like that this is used against you in the family courts, that they are saying that you are bad mouthing the other parent, or you are trying to turn the children against them, or you are obstructing the like visitation, or things like that. You're trying to make the children afraid of the other parent. But let's see, you can talk about, so I actually listened to Dr. Christine Coccliola the other day. She is talking about coercive control a lot, and she lived in such a relationship herself, and now she's a therapist, I think, and she's talking a lot about children and how we can talk to children about coercive control. And but her advice was to talk about a certain behavior, like she advised that we can talk about the behavior without mentioning the parent. So we can use like stories or we can use like other examples and talk about what was the example? I thought that she said it in a good way. This wasn't the example that she used, but let's say, for example, that the parent who is toxic and abusive used to call people bad names, like you're an idiot, or scream at the children. And then you might say that, like, it's not good to not address it and not say anything, and then the child might think that it's okay to do that. But so So, and you don't need to explain that, oh, he had a bad day, he really loves you, but and that's not true. You could just say, like, just address the behavior and say that it was not right that he screamed at you. Or you can say that, like, talk about other people or situations, or say that it's not a right thing to do, like to scream at someone or call them bad names. That's not right. So try to teach the children what is normal, and you should show them that normal behavior. And then as they grow up, because some children do not want to hear anything about the other parent. They love that parent and might feel like they might feel loyal to that other parent. So they don't want you to hear you say that about something about the other parent, but you can talk about certain behaviors without talking about the parent, or if you know what I mean. Okay, that was a long answer to your question, but let's see. I will just say, because now I see that I will get back to your question, Weshush, and let's see, because this is the same topic. Kirsika, hi, welcome. If his behavior toward the kids is not okay, I suppose it would be good to tell that, because my mom said nothing. It was really difficult to handle the situation. Yes, exactly. It is like, so the thing is that children, they don't have anything other to compare with. If they grow up in a family and there is a behavior that is not okay, or it is abusive. Oh, hey, you're Swedish. Okay, okay, that's good. Okay. Yeah, so you think that, like, you learn as a child that that behavior is normal, I should accept it, and that's what I should expect from others, and I deserve it. And okay, so if the other parent is also playing along and like acting normal, then you get an even stronger message that it's okay, that's normal. And it's like there is this term, like in abuse, or in a family where there is toxicity and abusive behavior going on, the abuser will often gaslight everyone that this is normal, or and if the other parent is playing along, they are also like helping with that gaslighting. And if you try to explain that behavior away, like, oh, he's stressed out, or he didn't mean it, it's like not helpful. So yes, it's not good to play along. It's not good to tell the child that, oh, he didn't mean it, or he's so stressed, or things like that. Excuse the behavior is not good. So I don't know, like, depending on if you're in the relationship or like, sometimes it is hard to, depending on what it is, like how bad the behavior is. If it is just that the other, like, if they are using a bit of a harsh tone and like saying like, oh no, you should hang your jacket on the hanger or something. It's hard to say that that wasn't okay, like if you're still in the relationship. You can perhaps do that. I'm not sure, like, it's not always easy situations, but it is better if you would be able to talk, like, for the mental health of the child, it is better for them to have the signal from the healthy parent what is okay and what isn't. But then it can be complicated depending on you, if you're in relationship or if you're out. How you navigate it is not, I don't have a clear answer, but yeah, it is difficult to handle these situations. And I think that each one of our situations is a little bit different, so we have to figure it out for ourselves. But just to be aware of it and think about it a bit, how to handle it. And sometimes, like when we're interacting with people who do things that are not okay, they are unpredictable, and sometimes they do something that is new and we did not expect it. Like we don't always do the exact right like the right thing at the moment, but just to be aware of it and to do our best and to try to, as I said, show like it's not everyone can leave. And not everyone can leave right away. There are people, like the world is a big place. Some people live in countries where it's not very easy to divorce or to but if like the optimal situation is to leave, like psychologically, it is more optimal. You will have a home where there is no abuse. It is like you, even if the parent is healthy, and even if you try to show the kid like, oh, this wasn't okay, but if you're still living with the abuser, you still live in abuse, and the child will be more affected because the abuser has a lot of power in the home. And so it's better to have than one home where there is no abuse than to, but I'm not telling anyone what they should do. I'm just discussing the different situations. Okay, and Kirsika, you're right. Oh, you are from Finland. Hello, neighbor. And you're from I know, do you still study Swedish in school there? Some Finnish people speak Swedish. Let's see, and now I go back to the question of wishes. Do you have a lot of friends or do you isolate? Oh, do you mean if I do isolate myself, or so if I do answer it like this, now I like in November it will be 3 months since we separated, but it is like 2 years since I so it has been a process for me of breaking free. It's 2 years since or a bit over 2 years since I got the protected identity and moved away and stopped physically having to interact with him. There was a period where of course, because I moved so many times, I moved 4 times because of stalking. Because of that, I have been, like, it has taken me time to meet people, and then I start to know some people, and then we had to move. So, and I had no energy and so on. There was a period where I did isolate myself a lot. And I think that's for many survivors, there comes a period where you isolate a lot and not wanting to interact a lot with people, and you're processing a lot within yourself. And I had that period. I'm no longer in that isolation period. but I don't have a lot of friends. I have, let's see, a few friends where I live now, and I have a lot of acquaintances. And I think that that's how you make, like, it's hard to make friends as an adult. But I enjoy interacting with people. And I wasn't always like this, I have to say, but I have. So I used to be shy, like earlier on I was a shy person, but I have become more extroverted, and I do like people. So I like to talk with people, and I like to talk with my colleagues, and I say hello to a few neighbors. And so I have some acquaintance, like a lot of people that I say hello to. And then I have some people that I sometimes, like a little, like still a big group that I sometimes chat with, like when I meet them. And then I have a little lesser group that, or a much lesser group that I sometimes will like send a text message or call or something. And then I have like a few friends. So yeah, that's where I am. But I think that it's good to like, if you, I don't know if you ask it because you yourself are feeling that you want some more friends, my tips would be to try to not focus so much on friends first, but focus a bit on acquaintances. And then you can, because you don't want, like, especially because we are survivors, we don't want to get into friendships with toxic people. It's easier to, like, if you take it slow, like take your friendships a bit slow as well, and get to know some people, and yeah, and see who you have like who you resonate with, and get to know them a bit more. And so yeah, I don't have a lot of friends, but I think I focus, like, the people that I want to be close friends with, they have to go through a sifting process of, like, I don't let anyone close to me or my kids, because I don't want toxicity anywhere near me. So if I sense anything that are like anything that is possible red flags, then I take it very, very, very slowly. And if there comes some more signs, then that person is off the friend list. And I might say hey to them, but I distancing myself. Yeah, also a long answer. Let's see. Okay, Kirsti, you all have to learn Swedish in Finland. Oh, you still have to do that. Okay. And that, yeah, okay. So there is a discussion from decade to decade, but you liked it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit unfair that, like, you have to learn Swedish, and no no one of the Nordic countries have to learn Finnish. But it's like, languages is cool. It's good when we can talk to each other. So let's see. Maria, do you feel a sense of relief now that you are separated, or do you worry more? Yes, I feel very much a sense of relief. In the beginning, I did worry more. I did worry a lot, because I felt that when I was in the relationship, I felt that I could manage him. It wasn't true, but it felt like that. Like, I knew which mines not to step on, and if he was in a bad mood, I could try to calm him down, or at least I could know that, oh, now, like, now there's like, now I have to be careful. At least it felt like I have an eye on him. I know what he's doing. If he would do something dangerous, I would know, and I would be able to take some actions. It wasn't true. I was, but I worried a lot in the beginning when I didn't know what he was doing. Like, what is he thinking? What is it like? Is he coming here? Like, what is? So I was worrying a lot in the beginning. It was very, very scary, and it felt like when a rocket leaves the Earth, it has to really push like through the gravity field, and like it's very, very much resistance in the beginning, but then it's lighter. So it took me a while, but I'm not worried, and I feel very much relief and very happy that I'm out and that I am free. Let's see, you share that I left my narcissistic ex 2 years ago while pregnant too. Okay, so that was with your youngest daughter. You were pregnant with her. He got physical for the first time when I was experiencing reactive abuse and called the police on me. Oh, okay. So he pushed you so far that you were so reactive abuse is, for those of you who don't know, when the victim is pushed so far that you are like do something abusive in return as a reaction. Like, I don't know what you did, but I screamed or yelled at him and became like mad. I've done that as well. And then he called the police. And then, oh, okay. So let's see, you experienced reactive abuse, and he got physical. Then he got physical, and then he called the police. You never looked back. Isolation is safe. Okay. I'm very, very happy that you were able to leave him. And you got your little girl and the girl you had, like the pregnancy. You saved your children. That sounds like a dangerous man. And that's sort of similar to what happened to me the first time that my ex-husband was physically abusive. I've shared this in a video, but when I told him to leave, and then I thumped his chest, like, leave. And that could be called reactive abuse because I hit him, but it wasn't. It was a thump. But he accused me afterwards of having started and like that's when he threatened me with a knife and he punched me in the eye. But afterwards he said that, well, you hit me, you really hurt me. And he claimed to have been injured by this thump and that it hurt him for days. Yeah. But if we would interpret that through the coercive control timeline, because he was abusing you in different ways, even if it wasn't physical, and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually you tried to resist you tried to fight back. And that, the fighting back is the trigger, the fourth stage. And he escalated it to physical abuse to get back in control over you. And then he blamed you and he called the police and claimed to be the victim. Okay. You were strong for getting out when you did, and I'm happy that you did. Do you have something more? it's getting late for you in Finland, Kirsika. But you're still up. That's good. I took a nap earlier, so I'm not that tired, but yeah, you might be tired. I'm happy that you're here anyway. Okay. But I'm thinking that it might be a good time to end the live here. And I'm trying to do these lives every Thursday, and most Thursdays I'm able to. And you can keep an eye out a few days before. I will have a poll, and you can vote for a topic for the live stream. And yeah, I was happy to have so many of you join today and interact in the comments. And if you are, and it helps me if you press the thumbs up on this video. I don't know if you have, but it helps me to, or on this live, it helps YouTube when you push the like button. It will show it to more people. Okay, but it's time to end the live, and I will get ready to bed. It is Friday and work day tomorrow. Yeah, but I'm hope that every one of you will have a peaceful and safe afternoon and night, and sleep well. And yeah, thank you, thank you, Maria. Okay, bye everyone.